to day one of Branding Keys. I am Claudia King, your host, and we're going to go deep down the branding rabbit hole this week. It's going to be amazing. This is something that was like divinely guided, divinely channeled from years and years of experience working with multi six-figure, seven-figure, and eight-figure brands. Even did some projects in my career alongside billion-dollar companies. So I know a thing or two when it comes to branding, when it comes to delivering a message from your brand and that it resonates with your ideal client in the way that we want it to go. Let me make sure. Okay. If you have questions, don't hesitate to drop them in the comment section. I will definitely go back and watch all the questions and answer everything that I can live. Otherwise, I will go back and answer inside the stream. So let me just make sure that you guys can see all right. I don't know how I can collapse this. Okay, yeah. Here we go. So brand DNA, unlocking the codes to make your brand stand out. So this is going to be half presentation, half chitter chatting. So grab your coffee, grab your bottle of water, whatever you want next to you. If you have kiddos, just know that sometimes I do swear. So I don't want you to get offended, just letting you know right now. So first thing that I love to do, which is actually part of my brand DNA, because I have a marketing agency called Alchemy Media. So what we do is all based in energy, good vibes. And so we're going to light a candle to set this whole thing into motion. So I'm inviting you to breathe with me in through the nose, out through the mouth. And we're just going to light this candle, allowing in the energies of the highest good with the most beautiful positive vibrations, surrounding us with the golden light. So I'm going to set this one up into my beautiful geode that I have here. So just let me know a little bit like what stage of business you're in. So the first thing that I want to cover is what actually is a freaking brand. So I've done a bachelor's degree in marketing and finance. So I know the definitions, but that may be a little bit foreign to you, or maybe you want to just have a refresher of what it is. So your brand is what people say about you when you're not in the room. And that comes from Jeff Bezos, which is Amazon founder, owner, and runner. So he knows a thing or two about branding. He started from the bottom and now he's here a couple $1 billion later. So your brand is what people say when you're not in the room. So when people in your environment talk about your business, talk about, it could be like a personal brand. What do they say? What qualities do they use? What are the definitions that they use to describe the experience that you give them, the products that you deliver, or the service that you give? So this is so important because essentially we think that like branding is about like what colors you're using, what font you're using, and we're gonna get into that a little bit later, but it's mostly about what people gain from your experience, from your services, from your products. So it's really what stays with them that creates your brand. It's not necessarily what we put up front. So I'm just going to like recalibrate the codes of branding that you've been taught, and we're going to go into there. So today's going to be short and sweet because we did start a little bit later. I want to make sure that I cover all of the stuff, and I'm going to use some very funny language. So the first thing that I'm going to do is quote Miss Danielle Bad Baby, Cash Me Outside. She has a powerful brand, by the way, which went through time, and now she's a multi-million-dollar OF creator. So she says this quote, which is, "She looks like every other bee." Basically, I took this picture because I was trying to find a picture that showcases how we throughout time always kind of mimic each other's styles. If you're like me, a millennial, you probably grew up with certain styles and everybody basically looked the same. It's like the same low-waisted jeans, the same little vest, the same blazer with high heels, looking like we're going to a corporate meeting, but we're actually going clubbing. Like we literally look the same. And that is because this is how the fashion, like fast fashion works. It's like, let's put out specific styles. Everybody's gonna want to buy it. And then it's like out of style and you just change your stuff. So if you look like every other bee, it's going to be very hard for you to stand out from the crowd. And that goes for your personal brand, and it also works for your services and your products. If you're using the same look-alike bottles, if your products just like has the same blend Instagram page, if you literally dress like every other corporate millennial out there, you're not going to stand out and people are going to judge you on that. So that therefore you're going to price your stuff at the same price, you're going to deliver the same type of stuff. It's going to be very hard to stand out. And I know this because I was in a network marketing company for like 2 years and we were over 250,000 people selling the exact same products. Now this is when the magic of branding comes in. It's like, I really do believe that you can have the literal same product, but if your branding is different and the way that you do your marketing is different, you can literally have bigger shares of the market just from how you're doing it. And we're seeing that right now with a lot of products doing drop shipping. So having a brand makes you stand out from the crowd, okay? And we're going to uncover today how you can have your own specific branding codes, okay? So this is what people are going to say when you're not in the room. So the other thing I want to cover today is that your brand evolves, okay? We have all seen brands like the Lehman Brothers banks and like all of these Blockbuster and all of these huge brands that look like they dominated. I'm thinking BlackBerry, I'm thinking Blockbuster, I'm thinking Kodak. These brands did not innovate, did not grow, did not evolve, and they died off. I'm going to repeat this so loud and clear. It is not because your brand is established today that it's going to be established tomorrow. And it is not because your brand is small today that it's not going to be huge tomorrow. And that comes from one specific factor, which is your flexibility. The more your brand becomes bigger and the harder it is to stay flexible, because now you have all these systems of approval in place and it takes like 100 business days to make a business decision because it has to go through all of these checkpoints. This is what killed these brands. First of all, they sat on their throne and they decided that we're on top of the market. We're always going to be there. We're always going to be the best because we dominate. They didn't evolve. They didn't innovate. They didn't become more creative. They lost their creative touch. They lost the muse in their business. So it's very important to always stay relevant, and that's how you keep evolving. So here we can see that Shell, the logo literally evolved from 1900s to 1999. And at first it was just like a simple shell, like it was a literal shell. And now it became like kind of an icon, like a cartoon version of the shell. But it had evolved, and every single brand that has like a respectable time frame has this type of evolution where the logo changes, the colors changes, the essence of it, the products change. So you can also see the evolution of Apple and what it is today. So everything evolves, everything has an energy, and it's kind of like I call it like your Tamagotchi. If you just let it be in that little box and you don't feed it and you don't like help it grow, it's going to die off. And that's exactly what happened to these huge multi-billion-dollar brands that literally vanished overnight. So this is your reminder to always stay flexible. And we can think that like as small business owner, which I hate, I don't love, I hate this term small business owner, because there's no such thing as a small business. But if you qualify it from like the guidelines of like the business bureau and things like that, a small business, in my opinion, has more possibility to become a big brand, and it's harder for big brands to stay relevant. So you actually have an unfair advantage if you're below the $10 million mark. I really do believe that. Because you're flexible, because you're willing to test things, because you're open, you're creative, and you find ways to do things that other brands are not even going to permit themselves going there. So a good example of that would be, for example, at my previous job, we were mandated to kind of like restart the hiring process, and we were hiring for an entry-level job that was very hard to fulfill. It was during the big C of 2020, and we had to fill these positions, and nobody wanted to work because they were literally paid to stay at home. So we had to become innovative. And I don't know about you, but the hiring industry is an industry that hasn't been renewed in decades. So the first thing we did was look at the whole hiring process and see where the flaws were. But just think about that. As you are rebranding, are you willing to go through the motions of your business and have like a beginner's eye and look at the things that you're doing, that you've been doing for like years and years and years, or you've been doing for hours and everything? And are you willing to look at your business with a new eye? So that's what we did. We looked at the process of hiring from a new eye, from a new perspective, and we completely reframed the way that the presentation of the hiring was presented, like the position, how it was presented, what language we were using, what font we were using, what information we put on there, and we made it like stupid simple to apply. Because if you're literally right now trying to get a position that requires a high school degree, you're not going to want to be doing like a whole CV, a whole interview process, a whole this. Like, you could literally walk down the street and work at McDonald's, or you could work at Walmart or whatever and get the same benefits. So we have to make it stupid simple. And this is how, like, by tweaking this whole thing, we were able to hire 85 people within 5 months, whereas competitors were closing their doors because people didn't want to work. So this is what it does when you change your brand, when you shift the way you look at things, when you become flexible, when you stay creative. You can literally go take percentages of market shares, and you can have access to things that you would not have access to if you stay in your mind frame of thinking. So always think evolution, always think growth, always think growing over time, basically. So make sure you drop your questions in the comments, because I can go fast towards this. I really want to make sure that you guys understand that if I go back here, your brand needs to stand out. You can't just like do like everyone else, use the same lingo and expect things to happen. So what I see a lot right now in the market when it comes to brand DNAs is that we're twins. Everybody's twins right now, twinning with everyone. Like, I can literally see the same graphic on somebody else's Instagram that I saw a week earlier on somebody else's page. Like, nobody's innovative. We're all sharing the same things, the same quotes, the same looks, the same everything. So nobody stands out. This is really the flaw. So your I'm going to jump to the homework right now because there's something that I want to share with you, which is the 12 archetypes of branding. Now, we're not going to cover that today because that is something extensive that we do inside the course that I'm launching, that we're going to be starting in August, called Branded. But I want to show you like the wheel of the 12 archetypes, which this is not my graphic. This is from another agency. But identifying, this is going to be your homework. Identify the feeling you want people to have when they experience your brand. So there's different archetypes of a brand, and depending on what archetype that you choose, you're going to embody these values, okay? Because the brand DNA is actually an excerpt of week 1 we're going to do in the course, which is going to be the brand identity. Your brand identity is like, what's your mission? What's your vision? What's your values? How do you approach the world? What problem are you solving? Why are you solving the problem you're solving? Why is your brand standing out from others? This is all things that we're going to go and work really like in depth through like our workbook and stuff like that. And we're going to uncover your brand identity. So your brand DNA is essentially an excerpt of that. It's like, what if I had 10 different like pictures in front of me of like different clothes or different services or different courses or different results? Can I identify your brand without seeing your logo, basically? Or does it look like any other thing? So we're going to cover like so much more than that in the branding course, which is going to be like, what fonts do you want to use? What colors do you want to use? What is the meaning of every single one of their colors? Like, why does a brand choose blue over yellow? And what does that do? Why do people, it comes down to like, why do people paint their kitchens orange, red, yellow, like all these undertones? It's because they convey hunger in the human brain. Why do hospitals use a certain color on their walls? Like, all of these things have psychological effects on us, and we're going to go dive deeper in that inside the branded course. But for now, I don't want you to put all of that in your brain. If you just want to do this challenge or this series that we're doing this week, I just want you to look at these archetypes. They're going to give you a little bit of an idea of what energy you want your brand to have. And I want you to pick one. I want you to pick one for your brand that you're going to embody. Is it going to be a hero? Is it going to be a lover? Is it going to be a ruler? So do you want to be seen like an authority figure in your industry? Or do you want to be seen like, I'm your bestie, like I'm your bestie coach? Or are you like, no, I'm the leader, I'm the alpha, I am the industry. Like, this is the standard we're going to have for this industry. This is how it's going to work. Are you like more authoritative? Or are you more like, hey, I'm your bestie, let's do it together type of vibe? Like, let's learn how business works together. Let's support each other. Let's keep each other accountable. Like, that's a different type of coach. Or are you the coach that is like energy based? Or are you the coach that is strategy focused? So I want you to really pick an archetype, and that is going to be the feeling that you want people to have when they're not in the room with you. Now, once you've uncovered that, I'm going to see you tomorrow, because tomorrow, let me just make sure that I have it right here. I'm going to give you a little overview. So tomorrow we're going to cover Once Upon a Brand, craft a compelling brand story that captivates and converts. So once you know what archetype you're going to be, then this is going to be very important, because this is what we're going to use to carve your brand story. What are the stories that you're going to be using when you pitch your brand to like PR magazines, TV, online on Facebook, on IG, on TikTok? Like, what are going to be your baseline stories, and how do you use storytelling to really carve out a spot for your brand in the market? So if you guys are ready for more, if you guys are like, no, I want to dive deeper, like I don't want to just do this for like 5 days. I actually want to like set the foundation so that I can have 20K months by 2023 in my business. I want to make sure that happens. I want to learn how to create a powerful brand, stand out from the industry, and I want to do it right. I want to go through all the motions. I don't want to just do another freebie. I just want to dive deep. I'm ready to take my business seriously. I'm ready to rebrand. I'm ready to set myself up for success. Then I want you to check out Branded, because Branded is our 5 weeks branding boot camp, which we're going to teach you from A to Z on how to create a magnetic brand and go towards those 20K months. So I left the website here if you guys want to take a peek. Early bird actually ends today. So we're Wednesday. At midnight today, the price is going to go up $222. And so this is really like, I'm talking when I'm filming this video. If you guys are watching the replay or something, it's probably another price at this point. But yes, so this is Branded. If it's for you, or if you're not sure if it's for you, please shoot me a message. Like, I'm going to have a conversation with you, a really real one, to see like, are you actually ready to get to that next level? Or maybe you just want to be doing the 5-day series. But if you're ready, I'm going to tell you, and I'm going to tell you what it takes to get to the next level, because I have spun my wheels for years and years and years. And I was always like, I don't understand. Like, I'm showing up on Facebook every single day. Like, I'm just like posting, like I'm doing all the things that people are telling me to do, but I'm not seeing the result. So is there something wrong with me? And I'm here to tell you there's nothing wrong with you. It's literally, you've been fed the copycat model. Like, just write this on your wall, just do this, just put this graphic up, just show up every day. But nobody actually told you what it took. Nobody actually told you like how you build a brand. Nobody actually told you how like you might have the best course in the world, but if you can't market it properly, if you can't brand it properly, it's not going to sell. And all of these people that could have benefited from having like the most transformational experience with your course are actually not going to have it. And that is not because you suck. That is not because your course is not good. That is simply because you have never learned how to brand yourself. And that makes a whole difference, you guys. This is what takes people from 5 inconsistent months, like 5K inconsistent months, to making 20K consistently. As well, I'll go back and answer questions. But for now, I'm going to wish you an amazing day. Thank you for your patience today. I'm going to see you tomorrow with Once Upon a Brand. And in Once Upon a Brand, we're going to uncover the stories you need to integrate in your business to really make sure that you stand out.